What am I going to cover for on-screen this week? Maybe Facebook will have some answers. Oh, Justice messaged me. Why don't you cover the Emoji Movie? No! Why? It's not really timely. Hello and welcome to a really regrettable episode of On Screen. I'm your host Dylan Wright, and I'm here to take you on a reluctant journey through film and television. So, the Oscars have come and gone. The winners have been announced. Shape of Water did very well, getting Best Director and Best Picture. Definitely a good film if you haven't seen it. In addition to the Oscars happening last weekend, we also had another award ceremony, one that's more infamous than the Oscars, the Razzies. Now, with the Razzies, in case you don't know, how the Oscars is considered the best of the industry, the Razzies are the worst of the worst, and this was the 38th Golden Raspberry Awards held, and it's usually held the day before the Oscars, and this was also the case this year. Now, the Razzies this year, there were a lot of contenders out there, but there was one film that really took the cake in terms of winning awards. I thought it was going to be Transformers: The Last Knight, but it wasn't. It was a little-known animated movie. Okay, I'm being facetious. It was well-known. Called The Emoji Movie. It is a hot piece of garbage. The poop emoji features prominently in the movie, and boy, is that a good representation of what the movie is. So I decided for this episode that I would talk about the Emoji Movie. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of masochism one has to have in order to talk about the Emoji Movie, but I guess I have it because here we are talking about what is considered the worst movie of the year by this award ceremony. I sat down to watch the Emoji Movie thinking that I was going to find like a so bad it's good movie, a movie that I could laugh at in terms of how bad it is. But no, I didn't. It was just bad. It was not enjoyable to watch. I don't know if you've ever heard of the animated movie Food Fight, where there are a bunch of product brands that are in this grocery store, and it's also this weird city. But Emoji Movie really gave me that kind of feeling, except that instead of generic brands for the most part that Food Fight had because they couldn't afford the big brands, which is really weird, this movie has quite a bit of product placement. There's a whole sequence where they play Candy Crush, and that's considered like a giant action set piece, I guess, as well as a Just Dance scene where Christina Aguilera teaches them how to play Just Dance, and they're like, oh, it's so fun and so great, and this is an amazing game. This movie is a hot piece of garbage. It really is. And you wouldn't think it would be with the voice cast you have, because you have TJ Miller, who plays the title character of like the emoji, and he usually is pretty funny in movies. He was really good in Deadpool. He was funny on Silicon Valley. You had James Corden, who's a hilarious comedian. Anna Faris, who of course is amazing. Maya Rudolph, who just killed at the Oscars, so her career is still doing good, thankfully. And the most surprising one, I think, is Patrick Stewart as the poop emoji. And I honestly think that the movie was formed around the idea that they can get Patrick Stewart to play the poop emoji, and then that would sell the movie. And it did. I saw it because I was interested to see Patrick Stewart play the poop emoji. But he's not really in the movie that much. And I could be watching Logan or a better Patrick Stewart movie or Star Trek The Next Generation instead of watching this movie that has a lot of really, really, really bad things in it. So basically, it's kind of a be yourself plot, I guess. The main character doesn't really want to be a meh emoji. Like, he doesn't want to be considered like in doing this one emotion, and like he goes on a journey of self-discovery and all that kind of things. And there's a subplot where like the princess emoji somehow disappeared, and all of a sudden, oh, there's this weird goth emoji that's showing up called Jailbreak, and oh, I wonder who that is. And spoiler alert, it's the princess. Go figure. That the one female lead in the movie, other than would be the princess. It's such a twist because this movie is so full of engaging female characters that, of course, you would have to have the goth girl be the princess. I would say it's a movie you have to see to believe, but really, you do not have to see it. There is a whole thing about, they go through the Spotify app, which is really, really weird. There's a whole plot point, and this is a kid's movie, mind you, about Dropbox and how, like, impenetrable their firewalls are and how safe your things are going to be within them. And this is a kid's movie. What kind of kid is using Dropbox for anything? What kind of kid knows that Dropbox is a thing unless their teacher is deciding to introduce them to the adult world at an earlier pace than they should be? Watching this movie, I had to stop and start it a couple times because I could not watch it straight. This movie is just like a bad penny, even though I've never really gotten that phrase. It's bad. It's just like Kevin Malone says in The Office. It's like eating a hot circle of garbage. Like, I don't understand why they thought that this was a good idea. I mean, like, they're definitely going off the success of the Lego Movie, which was a legitimately good movie for being a movie based around a product. It was a movie that had a lot of heart, and it was a movie that was made non-cynically, I think. Everybody seemed to have a really good job doing it, but this movie is clearly just a paycheck. It's a paycheck to the people that are in it. It's a paycheck to the product placement that is all over this movie. I've never seen so much product placement in one movie besides the Transformers movies. It's literally like, but like with the Transformers movies, at least like Budweiser isn't a plot point where they have to go to the Budweiser factory and defeat Megatron or whatever. In this movie, like, they literally are using a lot of these product placements as full-on plot points. And it's not like with the Power Rangers movie, which had Krispy Kreme as like a major place, because they were clearly making fun of that in Power Rangers. Like, it was supposed to be a joke that this thing of great power was in a Krispy Kreme. And it's not like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where Dairy Queen shows up and gets destroyed. This is a movie where, like, they're literally, as they're going through these games and as they're doing these plot points, they're literally doing an ad pitch for it. Like, oh, this is a really fun game. And it's just terrible. I don't understand how this got as much money as it made, because it did make money despite being hot garbage. It made $217 million off of a $50 million budget. So people went to see this. People bought this. People decided, I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on this amazing Sony Pictures Animation movie, because clearly this was going to be anything other than the trash it is. In the United States alone, it grossed $86 million, which just blows my mind. People must have been bored that day, maybe. Maybe they decided there's nothing else good in the movies, even though it came out with Atomic Blonde, which is a much better movie. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's nominated for a Kids' Choice Awards Favorite Animated Film, so it might win that. Oh, and Movie Guide Awards also nominated it for 10 Best Family Movies of 2017. So that's something to chew on. I honestly wish that Baywatch won Worst Movie, or I don't even know if I would wish Transformers would, but at least Anthony Hopkins is in that. I mean, Patrick Stewart's in this one, but at least I get to see Anthony Hopkins. Don't watch this movie. Watch one of the Best Picture nominees. Definitely watch Shape of Water. But Emoji Movie, you could just take that DVD and don't put it in a Dropbox, because apparently you won't be able to delete it because the firewalls are so big. Yeah, just I give this one a thumbs down emoji, a poop emoji, a frowny face emoji, all the negative ones. The devil one. No, not the devil one, because he's smiling in that one. Like the sick one. Yeah, just don't watch it. Don't watch it. So that's going to be it for this week's episode of On Screen, thankfully. If you have any future topics for a future episode, just let me know. I would love to cover anything that you'd like me to cover. And as always, until next time, take care.